Hi, doing Justin Hodrobino Devil's Digest. With a great rushing game, it's not only the offensive line, but also the tight ends, wide receivers blocking. What did you think about that aspect in the season opener?
I think we were pretty excited about that. I think, one of the cornerstones of our offense is play fast and physical. And I thought, in week one, we came out and did that from the very first play of the game, with the ball on the, 2-yard line and coming out in a heavy set and running a really downhill physical gap play and guys getting off the ball. I thought it set, kind of a standard and attitude for who we want to be. And then that kind of continued into the game. And, when you're playing with a lead, you're going to run the football. And, we were able to be effective in doing those things in the second half. I was really proud, obviously, of the offensive line and the whole group. And I thought that the tight ends played hard as well and very physical. And it was a good way to start the season from that standpoint.
Doug Haller, The Athletic. Justin, Herm said the other day that he thought Curtis Hodges played one of his better games, if not the best game that he has played since he's been here. Just what do you see from him and what stood out for you?
As far as what we were able to see from him in week one was someone that was well prepared, that was, reliable, played assignment sound, he played with good pad level, was a 6'7" guy, that's always a challenge. And, he played with good pad level, he played physical and came off the ball and tried to attack people. And that's one of the things as far as the tight ends as a group we're trying to do, whether, all three phases of the game, run game, pass game, protections. We're trying to attack people down the field. And I thought he did a great job of doing that in week one.
Chris Cartman, Son of a Source. Justin, the overall assignment soundness of your guys in that and just the attention to detail, execution, all that stuff, what would you say about how that went?
I was proud of him. I was really proud of him. This is not an easy offense to play in. As a tight end, we run, every run scheme known to man. They're asked to, do a lot of things in protections, and, they're asked to, be attached tight end receivers and then get out in space in the slot and be slot receivers and sometimes be flexed out. And so there's just a lot of things they get asked to do. We kind of have a motto of, like, we need to be the type of guys that are extremely efficient in our preparation, extremely efficient in not wasting reps in practice, and efficient in our meeting time. And we just got to be able to do more with less. The other side of that, too, from a practice standpoint and a meeting standpoint, is all our guys are involved on special teams. So it's not necessarily like the O-line that gets, additional indie time. It's not necessarily, like those groups that aren't involved on special teams with, extra meeting time, extra indie time. When it comes down to Saturdays, if we're not executing and blocking people and targeting correctly, nobody cares. Everyone wants to do our job. If we're not getting open in the pass game, we're not catching the football, nobody cares about those challenges, right? And our guys know that, they accept that, and I think that's just been one of those challenges that they've been great in these last, since we started the season on kind of embracing. And, I was really pleased and proud of those guys in week one for being assignment sound, for being able to be trusted. And, one of our kind of unofficial goals is just to be, be a reliable group in this offense that can be counted on. So.
Case Hatch and John Stivers, just what they bring into the fold, and how you thought that looked in terms of what you expected from them.
Yeah, number one, I think Case and John both bring a maturity to the room. We talk about the pro model here. Those guys, I don't care if they're amateurs right now. According to the NCAA, those guys are pros every day when they walk in this building by the way that they conduct themselves. And so they really set a standard in the room. And obviously Case is one of the team leaders and one of the captains, and he does that, offense, special teams, and for the entire team. And so, for those guys to have that kind of respect because of the way that they go about their business every day, and then to go out on Saturday and to execute again extremely well, and what they were asked to do and in their respective roles. I think they both played around 28 plays, on the offensive side, and obviously Case played another, I don't know how many plays on special teams as well. So, but I was proud of those guys as well and the way they executed, and they just bring that professionalism, to the room that you can't put a price tag on, because it makes everybody around them better.
Hey, Coach. Zach Keenan with Devil's Digest. Case Hatch, again, he had a great game, and it seemed like he was involved on almost every touchdown. Even though he's not able to be in the stat book, how do you give him praise, or how do you credit him for having a good game?
I mean, you get credit by the group, and number one, like Coach Herm and the offensive coordinator, Coach Hill, those guys are awesome. Like, you know, going out of their way to give those guys compliments. You know, maybe those are things that the fans don't see. You know, but they're things that if you're in this building and you're in the program, you notice those things, and so they understand their value. You know, and I think that's kind of the role of the tight end. You know, in general, is to be one of those guys that just does their 1/11th. That's just going to do their job. That's going to have their time where we have certain plays for them. But by and large, you know, our production as an offense and as a group, you know, is going to be just a part of that role and doing whatever is asked. And, you know, no task is too small mentality. And, you know, like with Case, I think in this last week too, the guy just outfights his weight class, man. He's so fun to watch to me, and I think people see that. And just the way that he tries to attack people, and he's one of those guys that just plays every play like it's his last play he's ever going to play, and those are some of the most fun players to kind of watch if you're a fan, or you know you're in the stands. You see that level of commitment to what we're all trying to accomplish, and he does it every single play and really every day. He's awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach. Jonah Krell, WCSN. This is a new role for you with stepping in as interim coach. So I want to know, what has this been like for you stepping into this role, and how do you think it has been like just leading the tight ends in this new position?
I mean, it's been a blast. I wish I didn't have this mask on so you can see the smile on my face right now. No, it's just, you know, whenever you get a chance, you know, over the last couple of years, being the guy with his arms crossed, you know, not being able to run a drill, not being able to communicate what you're seeing, and information you think is going to have a chance to help guys get better. None of us as coaches really, you know, we start off in this profession because we obviously have a passion for working with young people. And like as players, you know, people invested in us and helped us try to reach our potential. And you had such a positive experience with that. You're like, hey, I want to get back and coach now, right? And do that for other young people. And so being off the field is definitely a challenge because you get disconnected a little bit from the relationship side of being a coach. So I think, you know, just absolutely having a blast, getting to put your hands on this group of guys, which obviously it's a good group of talent, good young people. So I'm just having a ton of fun with it. You know, I really am.
Coach, Jalin Conyers, where would you say that he's at? Obviously, he's learning, playing with his hand in the ground, and a lot of things that he hasn't been asked to do previously. Where would you say he's at in terms of his evolution?
I think Jalen's developing well. You know, he's still really a freshman. As you pointed out, you know, he was a high school wide receiver that didn't really have to play with his hand down. So he's, you know, he's very developmental in the blocking game, and we kind of knew that going in. I think we're seeing signs where, you know, he's making improvement every week. And, you know, he did have, I think he played about 16 snaps. He was in on the first touchdown as well. You know, we're using those multiple personnel groups. You know, he's a guy that we're trying to bring along, not give too much too soon. He is extremely talented in the pass game and as a receiver, and, you know, is one of those guys that has incredible ball skills. And that part of the game comes pretty natural to him because of his background. So I like the progress he's making right now. And, you know, we have a lot of good conversations about his mindset going into it. He knows he's, you know, if Kurt needs a play off, or if, you know, he's that next guy in and up. You know, if Kurt goes down for some reason, you got to be ready to go. You know, that's what I said last week. You ready to play 60 plays if he gets hurt on the first play of the game? You know, and so, you know, because we use multiple personnel groups, you know, you got the inline, the wide position, you got the off, you know, H-back position. We get into 2 tight end sets. Trying to keep things from a mental perspective right now, just let him really kind of focus on that wide position, right? Just look at being that wide, being Kurt's backup, bringing him along, and as he starts getting confident and comfortable in what he's doing, start getting him more. It's a 12-game season. I know before this thing's all said and done, he's going to have a huge role. He had a small role, and he was ready to have a bigger role last week. And, you know, on a week-to-week basis, we'll see how that continues to go. But I love the progress he's making, and I think he's excited by it, and he's getting more confident. And as he gets confidence, as every player does, you know, their performance and production starts becoming better. So I think he's on the right track.